Former WWE and ECW star Too Cold Scorpio has been arrested for a violent stabbing incident. He claims self-defense, however, he's been hit with 2 felony charges. We'll let you know all of the details on that. Plus, the news about Shane McMahon possibly going to AEW reportedly was news to pretty much everyone in All Elite Wrestling last week. We'll let you know all of the details on that possible fake news. Matt Hardy says his brother Jeff Hardy felt unwanted in All Elite Wrestling. MGF provides an injury update after he made his in-ring return last week on AEW Dynamite. SmackDown, there was critical acclaim for the episode Friday night on SmackDown on Fox, and reportedly the Blue Brand has a brand new head writer, and GG Dolan reportedly has suffered a torn ACL. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with this developing and breaking story this morning at the time of recording this video regarding former wrestling star Too Cold Scorpio. Now, this is being reported by TMZ, and as I mentioned, just the last couple of hours, former wrestling star Too Cold Scorpio, of course, who won tag team championships in WCW with Buff Bagwell in the early 1990s. Of course, he's known as Flash Funk in WWE. In the 90s, of course, wrestled in ECW too. He was arrested on June 15 for violently stabbing a man during a gas station fight, but he claims he was acting in self-defense. According to court documents obtained by TMZ Sports, the bloody incident happened at around 3:40 a.m. at Love's travel stop in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, authorities say Too Cold Scorpio, aka Charles Skaggs, told them he was working as a security guard at the store when he saw a man who had lit up a cigarette inside of the establishment. Now, the victim tells TMZ Sports that he did not light up inside the store. He says he thought the dart was put out prior to entering the building, but it might not have been fully extinguished. Now, Skaggs stated he told the guy he couldn't smoke inside, but then claimed the man became upset and said, "F you, the F you gonna do?" Skaggs said the man then threatened him. When the two eventually made their way outside the store, he claimed the guy tried to grapple with him. Now, during the scuffle, Skaggs told authorities he pulled a knife from his pocket and stabbed the guy in self-defense. The wrestler said the altercation went on for several more moments, and in the squabble, he got a few more stabs in too. Now, cops say, when they arrived on the scene, they found the guy who was stabbed lying on the ground, bleeding from his head, chest, buttocks, legs, and abdomen. They added that he was transported to a local hospital and he was going in and out of consciousness. According to the court documents, though, investigators were able to make contact with him at the medical facility later in the day, where they say he told them Skaggs was the aggressor in the situation. Skaggs was ultimately thrown behind bars and hit with 2 felony charges, 1 count of first-degree assault and 1 count of armed criminal action. Court records show after bonding out, he pleaded not guilty to the charges. He's due back in court for a hearing in the case next month. Now, Skaggs broke into the professional wrestling world back in 1985. He went on to compete for several promotions, including WWE. While mainly wrestling as Too Cold Scorpio, he also used the name Flash Funk in his WWE career. In his career, he's held multiple championship bouts. Of course, we get a bit of an update on where this situation is going. We'll let you know. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Now, Shane McMahon, is he going to AEW? Well, according to many people in All Elite Wrestling, that would be news to them. Last week, there was a surprising news story when it came to Shane McMahon possibly, unfathomably, becoming All Elite. Well, how likely is this story? Was it based in reality? And what do people in AEW make of it? Well, Shane McMahon to AEW, it's not looking likely. Now, there was heavy buzz throughout wrestling over the past week regarding the possibility of Shane McMahon appearing in All Elite Wrestling. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer, Tony Khan told the Observer that he'd not ever even had a conversation or even met Shane McMahon, and those that Fightful Select have spoken to say that Shane McMahon hadn't been brought up at a high level. Now, there were numerous talent that inquired with Fightful and internally about the possibility of Shane appearing in AEW, but we're told that it hasn't been something that has been considered. However, McMahon himself has spoken to others about the possibility of it and didn't seem opposed to it happening. However, prior to this week, it wasn't a topic of conversation within AEW. Now, Shane's father, Vince McMahon, told some close to him in WWE that Shane McMahon, quote, would never get another pop in the company again as long as he was running it. it after a messy Royal Rumble 2022 situation. Now, of course, Vince was out of the company months later, kind of, and Shane made an ill-fated return at WrestleMania 39, where he got injured just minutes into competing in a match at the show. Though Shane appeared at WrestleMania last year, he is no longer have a contract with WWE of any kind. That includes a talent contract, a Legends contract, or anything of the sort. Now, he was featured in WWE 2K24 as part of a separate agreement, but he's not under contract with WWE and doesn't have any kind of contract with the company. However, it looks like this may be a case of fake news, or at the very least, Shane just reaching out, possibly some feelers, hypothetically talking about the possibility if it were to happen and not being opposed to it. Do you think there's any chance, any possibility that Shane McMahon could end up in AEW now that the rumors are out there? Do you think AEW could maybe reach out to Shane and talk about the possibility of it happening? Is this what AEW needs? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, Matt and Jeff Hardy are no longer All Elite, and Jeff Hardy is no longer with AEW, and it seems like he wasn't offered a contract extension. While speaking on The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, the titular host revealed that his younger sibling didn't feel wanted by Tony Khan's promotion, and he didn't have second thoughts about moving on after his deal expired. He said, quote, "The only time they offered Jeff a deal is when they offered me a deal. Jeff didn't care. Unless they offered him something that he liked, he was good. He wasn't going to reach out. As Jeff was saying, no one has reached out. My deal might be up. I said, I'm enjoying my time in TNA. Jeff isn't looking to re-sign. No one has reached out. Jeff doesn't feel like he's necessarily wanted there." He continued by saying, as such, the Hardy Boys AEW reunion came to an end. Now, Hardy said that TNA Wrestling was interested in working with Hardy as soon as his AEW deal expired, and the rest is history. The former AEW and WWE star appeared at this month's Against All Odds pay-per-view, and it appears he'll be working with the promotion for the foreseeable future. Earlier this year, of course, Matt Hardy left AEW after turning down a new contract, with the veteran unhappy about how he was being used in the promotion. He's indicated that he wants his remaining years as an active wrestler to be meaningful, and he seemingly had to move on from AEW to accomplish that. Now, despite working for TNA Wrestling at the moment, both Hardy brothers are free agents. Theoretically, they could still re-sign for AEW, or even go back to their old stomping grounds in WWE. What do you think happens when it comes to the Hardys moving forward in professional wrestling? Do you think they could sign contracts with TNA Wrestling? Do you think they could go back to AEW? Do you think they could go back to WWE? Let me know your thoughts about that one too. Now, a bit of an injury update on MJF. Of course, following his in-ring return on the June 19 AEW Dynamite, former AEW World Champion MJF has shared a health update. At AEW Double or Nothing 2024, former AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman made his return to the company for the first time since December of last year. Coming back from multiple injuries, such as a torn labrum, MJF laid out his former tag team partner Adam Cole and let everyone know that he isn't leaving All Elite Wrestling. After a couple of weeks of brawling, Friedman went on to defeat Roosh in his official in-ring return on the June 19 edition of AEW Dynamite. Speaking with Fox 5 New York, MJF was asked whether he is ready to go following his injuries. He answered, quote, "I'm ready to go, 110 million perfect. I feel great. I look great, let's be honest. Can we get a shot of these guys?" Showing his abs. I'm ready, I'm absolutely ready. Now, he is set to face off against CMLL's Hechi Zero in a singles bout on Sunday, June 30 at the AEW New Japan Forbidden Door pay-per-view on Long Island in New York. There have been some changes to SmackDown recently, many people waxing lyrical about Friday's episode of SmackDown, calling it one of the best episodes of television this year in professional wrestling. Now, this week's WWE SmackDown garnered heavy buzz and praise, but another big change happened behind the scenes as well. Fightful select Sean Ross Sapp learned that longtime WWE creative writer John Sweetcatter has been promoted to lead writer on SmackDown, at least as of earlier this week. Now, Fightful were able to confirm the news with numerous people in the company. Sweetcatter replaced Ryan Callahan in the role, who Fightful have been told parted ways with WWE. Now, there is very little known about Sweetcatter or publicly available outside that he was listed as a senior writer with the company. He's not been referenced in any articles or interviews that have been located, with the only mention of him being a 2014 tweet from Road Dogg. Now, Fightful have been told he's been with the company for years. A number of former writers reached out to Fightful after the article was published to say that he has long been a well-liked member of the writing team. One WWE source in the company said that Sweetcatter has already made a huge impact, pointing to the direction that you saw on this past Friday's episode. Now, what do you think? If Friday's episode is anything to come by, is Sweetcatter going to do good things in WWE? We'll have to wait and see. Now, finally, an update on GG Dolan, and once again, the curse of the torn ACL hits the female side of things in WWE NXT. In the midst of her NXT storyline with Ariana Grace, GG Dolan had reportedly been battling a knee injury. This storyline was later dropped though, as Dolan stated that she was done with Grace and her makeover efforts on the May 7th episode of NXT. Dolan has not been seen on WWE television since then, and a recent Instagram post revealed her to be wearing a leg brace. A pair of reports have now provided an update on the extent of Dolan's injury, as well as the potential timeline of her recovery. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dolan is believed to have sustained the same injury that has struck several other figures in the NXT women's locker room, a torn ACL. With a torn ACL, Dolan would join the likes of Sol Ruka, Nikita Lyons, and Cora Jade as talents who have been sidelined with that specific injury in recent years. Fightful Select has since shared an additional detail on Dolan's injury, noting that while they have yet to confirm the Wrestling Observer newsletter's report of a torn ACL, Dolan is expected to be out of action for the remainder of 2024. Dolan, a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, last wrestled on the March 12 episode of NXT. There, Dolan faced Grace on condition that if Dolan lost, Grace would transform her into a respectable pageant-like lady. Upon Dolan's loss by disqualification, Grace then began the makeover process with lessons of etiquette and fashion. Many of these makeover segments were filmed outside of the WWE Performance Center. Dolan's latest appearance, however, took the form in a backstage segment with Grace and Chelsea Green, who unsuccessfully challenged Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship later on in the evening. Of course, if we get any more details on Dolan's status, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.